Friends, I gather you here today for another video. I've blessed your timeline with another video. You're welcome. No, seriously, welcome back. Hi, friends. It's time to get serious. It's time to get serious, okay? It's time to get serious. I'm gonna try a new type of video today, okay? Here's the backstory. My friend and I used to do these things called PowerPoint Tuesdays, which was super fun. It is something that got pretty famous over TikTok, where you make a PowerPoint about some bullshit. You use, Google PowerPoint or regular PowerPoint or Microsoft, or if you're a weirdo, you use Prezi. And you just give a presentation. And I like to think that over my time of getting a hospitality degree and scouting out multiple college campuses for interns for my other jobs that I used to have, I'm a pretty good presenter. I'm a pretty good public speaker, and I thought today I would love to share with you some of my masterpieces. Please do not look behind me. If you do, I will have to take you out to the parking lot. Anyway, time to get serious. I'd like to introduce you to today's topic, something that's very passionate above my heart. What if The Hunger Games was a Muppet movie? We've seen them all, everyone. Everyone, we've seen the Muppet movies. We've seen The Christmas Carol. We've seen The Muppets Take Space. We've seen Muppets Treasure Island. It's time for the rising up-and-coming stories of Suzanne Collins' The Hunger Games to get its own adaptation of a Muppets movie. Now, is this in poor taste? Perhaps. But have the Muppets ever not brought more to the table than we thought that they would?
Huh?
No, they always bring exactly what they should, and I think they'd honor this story. So what we'll be doing today is I will be walking you through what I think my casting of the Muppets and the Hunger Games would look like. So first and foremost, something that we like to do is include just one human in the interaction, so it's not just Muppets all over each other, right? So that's going to be your Tim Curry. That's going to be your Scrooge in your story like that. That's going to be Jason Segel in the Muppets movie. But here, our most important character is going to be Katniss Everdeen. So I decided to keep her human, as she is the narrator of this story, and I feel like as a very reliable narrator, we need to keep her. Now, do I think that she was the best choice for this role in the first place? Not necessarily, but is it what I grew up with? Yes. So we're gonna just stick with that for now, right? So moving forward, we have Peeta Mellark. I've chose to cast Peeta as Gonzo. I don't want to hear any controversy about this. Gonzo is a big goofball that loves his wife, the chicken ladies, all right? And Peeta Mellark is the lover boy from District 12 that bakes the cakes, and I feel like Gonzo just fits that really well. You put this kid, you swipe back the little spraky hair he has on top, you have him just speak a little less squeaky, and that's our guy. That's our guy. I'd like to point out that this photo over here is the craziest thing I've ever seen, but it is kind of a good epitome. It could bring that if we decided to do all 4 of the movies, or all 3 of the books, 4 of the movies. That's kind of how I imagine, Peeta Mellark would look like after he got brainwashed. So, there's that. Moving forward, we have Gail Hawthorne as Rizzo the Rat. I don't want to hear anything about any of the typos that you see in here. It didn't happen. You didn't see it? Don't talk about it. I chose Rizzo because he can be a very difficult Muppet to work with. Rizzo's notoriously going to be your womanizer character. He's always going to be hitting on the ladies next to Pepe or Gonzo or whatever, and they kind of go hand in hand. So I decided to take Rizzo. I can't get over his face. I can't get over that face. I decided to go for him because also Gail is a rat. He is one of the worst characters, and if you don't agree, you can fight me in the comments or in the parking lot. Moving forward, I've chosen a controversial one here, right? So this is Primrose Everdeen. I'm gonna choose. I picked Robin the Wind. I feel like Robin is the little brother character that he's the little brother Muppet that gives us that that puniness, the helplessness, the innocence that we're looking for Primrose Everdeen. I would like to mention, I did draw this in paint. I think her braid looks nice. Now, does she have 2 braids and I should have done 2? Sure. I didn't have time. I didn't want to do it. You can't make me. So anyway, Robin in a wig as Primrose Everdeen. I'm sure that this trope will not come up later. Next up, this is the most perfect casting that there could possibly be. So Miss Effie Trinket is going to be played by Miss Piggy. I tried to find somebody that's already done this. This was the closest I got, and this is terrifying. I don't really want to look at it much longer at all. But, you know, this is exactly who Miss Piggy wants to play, right? She would probably complain that she didn't get the role, but she would be happy that she was allowed to use the wardrobe of Effie Trinket as another way of just flaunting what she has. And I think I can imagine it, you know. I'm going to try my best impression of this. Feel free to cut it if it sounds like shit. May the odds be ever in your favor. That was not it. That wasn't it. That's okay. It's fine. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to explore the arts today. That's what we're doing. Moving forward. Kermit as Hamish Abernathy. Now, his book just came out, so we know a lot more about this character, and if you're not a huge Hunger Games fan, it's fine. In these movies, he is an alcoholic that tends to make lots of poor decisions, but has a soft spot for the District 12 tributes. So, I chose Kermit because of, obviously, Kermit's classic, like, this face. You know, when he does this.
Hello there, this is Kermit the Frog.
When he does that one. Because Hamish is just a grumper, right? I feel like this just happened to be a very good photo to represent his drunkenness in the movies. I feel like it's going to work out quite nicely. But I feel like there's also a little bit of a will they, won't they with Effie in the movies. So having, you know, Miss Piggy and Kermit being those characters together might have a good chemistry. But that being said, obviously we know Hamish Abernathy's heart still belongs to Lenore Duff. If you haven't read the books, that's your problem. I don't know what to tell you. Moving forward. This is another casting choice that I knew before I was even making this, before I even knew I was making this this PowerPoint, of course. So, we have President Snow as Sam the Eagle. A lot of people have heard the joke that Oscar Isaac looks like Sam the Eagle. There's that interview with Pedro Pascal, and I think that's quite funny, but I also think that Sam the Eagle is the only one that is as studious and a little bit curt in order to be able to run this part, right? So I think that he would be able to take over. I think he's got that sternness that would be good. The only thing that we would really need to help Sam the Eagle out with is actually finding that bit of charismaticness to him. You know, I think he would need to step up his role as a Muppet and be able to fit into the shoes of President Coriolanus Snow. We also have Clifford as Cinna. I feel like this is also a fantastic casting choice as, you know, in the band. Can't remember the name. Please don't get mad at me. Clifford is just got that swagger. And of course, Cinna, the stylist, is going to have that same sort of swagger. I also just kind of think Clifford looks like Lenny Kravitz outside of the movie. I feel like that might be Lenny Kravitz as a Muppet. So I feel like this was a very classic choice to pick from. And then, you know, obviously he was only going to be in like the first 2 movies, so we don't have to worry about him as much as he has to end up going back on tour with his Muppet band and whatnot. So there we go. Moving forward, this one was controversial as well. I'm asking you to hear me out. I'm asking you to hear me out. Fozzie the Bear as Caesar Flickerman, all right? Now, Fozzie is notoriously not a great comedian, but strives to be a good entertainer, right? I feel like, despite his past, this is an opportunity for Fozzie to step up to the plate to play the iconic Caesar Flickerman. Now, in casting, I had some concerns about how iconic Caesar Flickerman is, and I almost thought about making Katniss a Muppet and keeping Caesar Flickerman. The only reason I decided to change it is in case the Hollywood or the network decides they'd like to go ahead and run all of the movies. Caesar Flickerman's really not in them very much after that point. So I felt that keeping Katniss as the original and giving Fozzie the chance to rise to his, you know, what I know he can be doing, that's where I put him, you know, so there was that. Bunsen Honeydew as Seneca Crane. I felt like this was a pretty good choice considering the game makers constantly have all kinds of different people running around operating it. And I want you to see a vision with me right now, okay? Look, let's see a vision together, a vision. Please imagine Seneca Crane sitting in his room and in his game maker room watching, and every single operator for the Hunger Games arena is Beaker. Every single one of them. Different wigs, different makeup, all of them Beaker. Kind of like an Oompa Loompa situation in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. He plays them all, but he plays them as different characters and whatnot. I feel like, again, just so you could get the picture, I was gracious enough to put Bunsen Honeydew in the iconic beard that we see Seneca Crane. Obviously, we can have him come back as Plutarch. I think I could see him running that as well. But because he also just has that technical background, I feel like he'd resonate with the lines and the character. So I feel like that works pretty well. Okay, so we have Walter as wig.
English, mother! Do you speak it?
We have Walter in a wig as Rue. Again, like I said, I mean, we knew this might come back up. There's just really not a lot of female main character Muppets. And now, I'm not saying I have no issue with gender whatsoever. I do not condone men taking away roles from the women. But to my knowledge and my research, some of the women don't like being on screen. They like taking control of the back and running the Muppets from behind the scenes like the girl bosses that they are. So Walter, I decided, would be able to step up to this game. Specifically because we all just kind of love Walter. He's a little bit of a goofball. He's sweet. He's kind of like, you want to hold him like a baby a little bit. And that's how we feel about Rue, right? She's that innocence that made her way into the arena the same way that Robin in a wig got reaped but didn't end up going. Rue was the Primrose Everdeen, so we were able to kind of see that parallel. And I feel like Walter and Robin have some similarities with their characters there, you know. Moving forward, this is, again, flawless casting. I just picked the biggest Muppet that they have. I thought about for a second that one elephant. I don't remember his name. Turns out that is not a Muppet. That is from Sesame Street, so that is just a puppet there. So Sweetums is going to be our Thresh. I can imagine Sweetums running across the field to pick up tools. It's terrifying. It is quite frightening. Now, I would like to mention that Sweetums as a Muppet is a very gentle giant, but I would be asking him to step into a more aggressive role in order to make this work, right? So imagine him running across the field. He picks up whatever that girl's name was from District 3. I promise I'm a very big fan. Don't worry. And just like slams her, and then he's like, oh, this one's for you, 12. This one's for Rue. This one's for Rue. I don't remember what he says. Something like that. But I felt like this was also pretty flawless casting. Moving forward, I was very unsure about this choice, as Crazy Henry is kind of notoriously difficult to work with as a Muppet. It just is how it is. So here's how I thought about the process. Towards the end of the movie, we see Kato really slip into madness, and I feel like that's where we would be able to see, you know, the classic arms flailing around Muppet type beat, and Henry could rise to the occasion on that. So what we would really need to do is pass an Adderall to my friend over here at the beginning of filming, so he's able to portray the calm Kato, and then as we get him into the games, we'll take Henry off of the Adderall slowly but surely in order to have him bring that crazy back out again. So that's kind of the plan. Again, we'll have to see what the production says. I think it sounds fine. I have a few Adderalls in my purse.
What?
Don't worry about it. I think it'll be fine. Moving on. Camilla the Chicken as Foxface. This was tough. Obviously, it's going to be hard for Gonzo to be able to, love Jennifer Lawrence's Katniss character versus, Camilla the Chicken in here. They are notoriously, married. Who can say? But she, again, is one of the only female Muppets I could find that I was satisfied with the amount of time she spends on screen on the Muppets show. So that's another big thing about this, is it's more the Muppets' fault for not putting on more female Muppets, or Muppets that are diverse in their own show, because I can't just cast somebody because they're a woman. I've got to use the experience, right? And Camilla the Chicken, she knows how to make her way on the stage. And Foxface is a very fun but quiet character, so this is going to work out quite well, I think. Janice's Glimmer. This is going to be really fun. I like it quite a bit. Sorry that this GIF is underneath here. Just know that it is also another GIF of Janice. So mainly the only reason I picked this is, one, again, I needed another female. I thought about doing Janice for Prim, but because she's just very mature as a Muppet, I felt like she wouldn't have been able to embody that small, innocent character. But I do see her being able to throw her hair into braids and just kind of follow along with whatever everybody else is doing, because that's kind of what Janice does, She's kind of just like, go with the flow, and I can see her rocking it as Glimmer. Next, we have Animal as Marvel. Marvel. is notorious for being kind of a crazy killer in the movie. He's got a few lines here and there that he is just like unhinged, you know, with the tracker jackers and all of that stuff. So I thought Animal could portray this quite nicely. Again, being able to pull out the craziness that Animal brings to the table when he starts to get later in the games, as we've seen his attacks and whatnot. So that was that. Clove is who I meant to say earlier. So here's my thing. Beaker in a wig. Moving forward, we have Tracker Jackers. This is kind of bizarre, but I thought, you know, Muppets tend to go over the top with what they do, you know, turning furniture into playable characters and anything like that. I decided it would be a very, very fun idea if, you know, we took this scene of Katniss kind of pulling down the Tracker Jackers. They're explaining what happens. I want you to imagine these two bees, right, inside of their little home. Over here, these little bees. Imagine them inside their little home, and as soon as they hear that, you know, if Katniss starting to knock down the trees, things in their little bee home start falling down, and then they're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And they start being like, honey, what are you doing? I thought you said this was a safe neighborhood, you know, something like that. And the Tracker Jackers start arguing like a married couple, and then finally it falls, breaks open, a million different Muppet bees come out, and then instead of like stinging them and stuff, they're like pulling on people's eyelashes and knocking them to the ground and stuff, because I think that would be really funny. And again, that's what Muppets kind of bring to the table. They take some of those darker moments and they turn them into something a little lighter. And I feel like if you can imagine that scene, that would be great. Next up, we have the Mutts. I thought this was just hilarious. Towards the end of the first movie, of course, we have all of the dog Mutts. And I thought just pretty much any dog that has ever been on the Muppets, just imagine them racing after Katniss and Gonzo and Crazy Henry towards the cornucopia is just absolutely hilarious. So please picture that for me for a minute if you can, and enjoy exactly what this casting has to offer. And of course, if we're going to go ahead and give the Tracker Jackers, we're going to give the Mutts their own little thing. You know, there's a few characters I'm missing here and there. Please allow me the grace of that. Here is what I have graciously given you, and that is, of course, the berries have to be Muppets, right? It's hilarious to pull them out of the pocket. Hey, I can't believe we're still in here. We made it all the way to the end of the games. Do we get to win? Wait, what are they doing? Oh, God, you guys can't eat us. You know, I'm kind of imagining like a little riff off with the berries and stuff. And then they go, stop. Honeydew goes, stop. These are the winners. And then the berries are like, oh, okay, well, I guess we get to go home. And then maybe they drop them into the floor and they go like, ah. So, that's my casting choices. I really would love to know what you think. What do you think was just a grave mistake? What do you think you would have done differently? Again, this was very difficult for me. It took me days of groveling and putting this together, and I very much hope that you enjoyed it. But I thought, this is fun. Why don't I do more PowerPoints, right? The game vlogs, you know, they're just so long, and that's okay. But I'm not always talking and being myself, right? The vlogs are fun, but I don't always go places, right? It's expensive. I don't like doing things. So I thought, what else could I do to show you who I am in a fun way? And that is through PowerPoints. My friends, thank you so much for witnessing me today and being a part of this journey. I hope you learned something. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Please like and share. And don't forget to subscribe. I will continue to post videos as long as it's fun and we keep enjoying it together. So please feel free to, like I said, like, share, subscribe, and all that. And I'll see you in the next one. All right, thanks. Bye.